What's up, TikTok algorithm, social media, kinfolk? Back in Tennessee, my friends' family, new family out there in the Philippines. What's up? I know it's been a little bit since y'all heard anything from me, but I've kind of been in the hospital, been a little tied up for the last 5 days, I guess. So, yeah, another infection in my leg came up, so had to go get it taken care of. Praise God for good doctors and nurses and some good medicine and the good Lord above for sure, first and foremost, always. Um, I'm still here, so I actually just shot an entire video about the family versus East versus the West. Um, how the cultures are so different, how we raise our kids over here, get them through high school, get them, through college if they go to college, or just get them out, get them working. It's kind of the goal in America. And then they're living their own lives. They got their own bills to pay. They got their own, you know, car insurances, truck payments, everything. They got it all. So we kind of push them out. And in the Philippines, they never push their kids out. Like they, the kids are always going to be around, going to be close. Going to send money back to the parents when they're out, when they finally get out and get to earning, and and I see that more often than not out there in the Philippines. And if I was to tell my oldest son here, yeah, son, well, send me part of your paycheck each week when you get paid, send me a little portion of it, well, he'd laugh, he'd laugh me silly, thinking, Dad, what's wrong with you, um, and out there when the parents get old, the kids they all take their part. They take care of them. There is no nursing home in the Philippines, but there is here in America, and that's we work, we retire, and then you know if we get to where we can't really take care of ourselves, then we are placed in a nursing home. Pretty much. So it's it's definitely a different culture, man. It's I think America needs to get back to not so much pushing your kids out, but it's good for them to get to work. And I know my friend that I'm, she's got a son. He's about to be 21. He don't have a job. He plays video games. You know, there's no money in that. So but she's not pushing the issue, and it's nobody else's place, I guess, to push the issue. But that's maybe one day there'll be a fire lit underneath him, and or he'll be forced to have to go to work, and with no job experience, it's going to be kind of hard, but he'll figure it out. That's kind of the American motto: figure it out. But we got away from that community. These cell phones, man, all these algorithms, keeping people glued to their phones. It's crazy how they can divide a country using nothing but cell phones. It's just nuts, man. But we need to lay these cell phones down and get back to going and visit our buddies, and hanging out with friends and having social interactions, and showing each other some love, and lots of love. Because there ain't no room for hate in this world. They It's division. They want the I see Muslims living beside Christians out there in the Philippines, and friends. A Christian will have a friend that's a Muslim, and hey, that's great, man. That's it's not really the Christians versus the Muslims as so much as it is the higher ups, whoever's controlling the government, this government particularly, um, wanting us to, bomb the Middle East. Oh, they're a threat. Well, now opening up our borders and letting millions and millions of Chinese and I keep seeing them deporting all these Hispanics. What about the Chinese that come in here that was undocumented? What about the Africans, the people from yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm all about getting them, them gang members and stuff out of here. But there's spies that came in here too, uh, and that and it's all I think done on purpose. I really think they're trying to bring America down, but only America can bring itself down. We all stick together over here. We can outrule the rulers. We did it during the Revolutionary War over a tea tax. Now look how much we're taxed, and everybody's fine with it. It's just crazy. The cost of living over here is just crazy. And that's why people say stay so stressed out. Living week to week. Month to month. You know, uh, and I just think that's kind of the way that they've got it designed over here. But me personally, man, I love the culture in the Philippines. I love the family, the unity, the bond that's there, with the family, and you just got to be able to adapt to it. I hear a lot of foreigners saying, "Oh, if you get married, move so far away uh, from her family, yada yada." But man, that's not who they are. Who they are is to be close to their family. You know, and I think that's wonderful. I really do. You know, I never thought I was going to fall in love with the Philippines, but it grew on me. It took 10 short months, and it really grew on me. And did I leave everything behind over here in America? Yeah, but I left a lot of stress behind too, and a lot of other stuff, nefarious stuff that I left behind that I can live without. Over there you're eating healthy, you're living healthy, it's just to me it's go where you're treated the best. And if the people there, and anybody that's visited the Philippines knows they're some of the nicest people in the world. People that's been in the hospital here know we have some of the nicest Filipina nurses in the world. Some of the best actually are coming out of the Philippines. Um, and so go where you're treated the best. Go where and I know some people are not in a position to go, and I'll be praying for you, man, because I'm telling you, man, this world's getting evil, but we can show each other love and bond and unity and stick together. That's what we need to do. We don't need to be uh, fighting with one another, or oh, you think one way, left, right, this whole division, Republican, Democrat, it's all the same group. They all, this government shutdown, that was all a big ploy, to stress people out, keep them stressed, keep them, we'll starve them, we'll do this, we'll do that, and it's so peaceful to get away from all this. I don't vote in the Philippines. I got no say so who's running. They'll be blasting. I love it when it's election time because they'll come down the street and have a 2-ton truck with loaded down with speakers, jamming on some crazy music, and have somebody's picture on the side, and that's how they get out and get and they just ride around. They just ride around, hit every street, get their name out, get their face out there, and play some Filipino music. Mostly it's Filipino music, so I can't understand it, but I know they're having a good time. They always say it's funner in the Philippines. Well, you best believe it's definitely funner in the Philippines. I think it's funner anywhere other than America right now, you know. But I just love it, you know. I love it. I love the community. As guys one morning, guy's car caught fire across from my apartment complex, and I seen this white smoke. Man, I was like, I was cooking breakfast, seen this white smoke, and I thought, oh my gosh, like what's going on out here? And I step out, and there's 40, at least 40 Filipinos lined up in a line with buckets, just bringing buckets in the old school way of putting fires out. And one guy running the buckets back to the end, and the next guy run the bucket back and get it filled up. And they put this guy's car fire out like probably a half hour before the fire department got there, which is normal. But here, I mean, if somebody's house was on fire, I mean, they might stop to help if they've got a fire extinguisher or something in their car, but um, it's just different, man. It's just totally different. I was so amazed to see that out there, see the community coming together as one, and that's where we can defeat any evil. uh, is come together as human beings because we all bleed red. It don't matter what you believe in, what you think, what this, what that. Block all that crap out. You know what I mean? Think positive. Keep positive people. You don't want toxic people around you. I don't personally. I don't like toxic people to be around me. I can't be around them long. Like I physically start feeling like my energy is getting drained just by being around someone that's so negative. And I know that I've, been around it since I've been back here in America, for 2 months. And I pray to God that, next week or within the next few weeks, I'll be back, where I've got peace and tranquility because I control my own environment. But when you're in somebody else's environment, it's kind of hard to control it. You can try your best you know, and it's work, but not like it's your own, So, but that God willing, that'll happen. Like I said, I just got out of the hospital. Hadn't been here 2 months. Ended up back in the hospital. I'm like, man, I was in the Philippines for 10 months. Of course, I was in the hospital out there too, but it was for a different reason. Well, no, it really was infection too, uh, but then they got it all taken care of. Praise God for that. But yeah, I'm just ready to get back, man. Part of my heart's been missing ever since I left. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I ain't trying to promote the Philippines by any means. Um, I watched vlogs for 4 years, and really it didn't do me a bit of good. You know, I did learn a lot, but you need boots on the ground. I wouldn't even date a girl in the Philippines over just the phone if I hadn't been already out there to meet her family, do all that stuff. Because man, you don't know what you're meeting out there. I mean, they out for money. They out for themselves. You don't really know. And they can hide it well. Some of them can hide it well. So you don't just meet. I have met a few online, and they would ask for money within the first 10 minutes of talking to you. Well, that's a red flag. So you got to, you know. So best thing to do is just go out there. If you're serious about going out there, go out there with an open mind and know that everything's not going to be like it is back in the West. You're not going to have hot showers, hot water, period. You're going to wash dishes with cold water. You're going to if you don't heat up your water in a coffee pot, you're going to take cold showers. Uh, but it's hot out there, so it kind of feels good, to be honest with you. But you just got to be able to adapt. Now, you go get a condo or something, you're going to have hot water, you're going to have all the Western amenities. But if you're in the province or you're like where I'm at, ain't no hot water unless you put a hot water heater in. And I don't own the building, so I'm just renting. So I'll heat it up in a coffee pot, pour it in my bucket, take me a nice hot. I call it bucket baths. But yeah, that's what I do. It took me a long time to figure that out. I took cold showers for a couple months. So but take you plenty of cologne. They don't really have the assortment of cologne that we have over here, and clothes, I would highly recommend buying all your clothes from America because you're not going to find anything, especially if you're a big guy, you're not going to find anything that's going to fit you in the Philippines. And even though I lost 110 pounds while I was there, uh, it's still, it's still just best to take your own clothes. I had to buy all new shirts when I came in. And really, I think these are getting, kind of big. So I may even buy some smaller shirts just to take back with me because I know when I get back out there, I start eating healthy, doing all that stuff. It's the weight to fall off. I mean, it's got no other choice but to come off. So I hadn't shot a video here in a couple of weeks, and I appreciate all my new followers out there. Shout out to you guys. I know it's kind of boring just sitting here listening to me talk, but you know, I got good points. I try to have anyway. And and it's kind of therapy for me. I ain't really doing this to make money. I don't really care. I am planning on doing some travel vlogs, even here in Tennessee. In the next few weeks, showing y'all some waterfalls that we have here in this beautiful state, if I'm able. Uh, and doing the same when I get back to the Philippines. I got some other vlogging friends that are out there, and that's all they do. They do island hopping all the time, and I like to do that. But I still want my home base. I still got my home base at my apartment. And I like that. I like the people. I got good neighbors. It's a good neighborhood. I think I'm the only American that lives in that neighborhood actually. So it's pretty nice. I do see some Americans at the mall when I go to the mall, but they hardly ever even speak to you. I mean, some of them they'll wave at you, and some of them won't even look at you. So that's fine with me. I, I went out there to embrace their culture, not to bring my culture to the Philippines. Does that make sense? So, and it's worked out well for me. It's worked out really well. I've learned a lot. Learned about island time. Like you're not going to be rush, rush, rush. And being late is just normal out there. So, you'll figure it out once you get there. I done lost my tan, had a nice tan. Now I'm white as a ghost. So got to work on all that when I get back. And main thing is health. Stay healthy, man. Stay strong because I mean that's what keeps you going. Um, that's what keeps me going. I've always been one to eat healthy and just try to be healthy, be a healthy person. Uh, and when anything's messing with my health, then I'm, you know, like I said, go where you're treated the best. If you're treated the best here in America, stay here in America. You know, and if you're not, or you don't feel like that you are, then make a change. Think you got to be thinking outside the box. You can't just be closed minded. That'll get you nowhere. You got to think outside the box. And even if you're close to retirement, you're looking to maybe you've been single for a while, you're looking to go out there and meet someone. Yeah, go out there and then you'll find someone. But don't try to do it online. I mean, some guys it may work, but I wouldn't. I had a bad experience and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But